Finally, go cook my coffee.
Oh, Sheamus, hello. Welcome to the Bump Studio. What do you think?
It's great, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited you're here. Wait, but tell everybody how excited you are to be here, Sheamus.
I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, well, get that excitement up. We'll see you in about 10 minutes. All right, fella? For the rest of you, it's time for the bump. Let's go. Hello, everybody.
Hey, Kayla.
Sheamus is so excited to be here. Can you tell?
Why did you interrupt his coffee?
Kayla, I mean,
I wasn't trying to interrupt this.
You and your squeaky
been like 3
pants.
times.
You and your squeaky pants interrupting the fella's coffee.
It's kind of rude.
Welcome, everybody, back here to WWE's The Bump. We're going to have a good time today, as we always do. We are nearing my favorite premium live event here in WWE. The Royal Rumble is just weeks away. We have one of the interns, as we just saw, joining us here in studio. So it's a big time here in WWE, Matt.
Kayla for Rumble. Keep it trending
I know,
all over
you
social
never
media.
know.
I don't know. It's not happening. Is it happening? Never mind.
I will never
Maybe you'll
tell
find
you.
out. You'll have to tune into the Royal Rumble. A little over a week away. More entrants, of course, including the man who's going to join us today,
I know.
who won it 10 years ago, Sheamus. And, Shawn Michaels won a couple of these as well.
Yeah, he's a little bit synonymous with it. And we got Ryan over there keeping tabs on you folks on the social media.
Yeah, people are excited about the potential of Kayla for Rumble, and they're really upset with you for ruining Sheamus's coffee. That wasn't polite. It just wasn't nice.
Already in the comments
Yeah,
section.
it happened.
Wow.
It happened.
Ryan's all little.
It happened really
other
quickly.
account.
I'm really good at my job. Speaking of, we want to hear from you as we always do. Hashtag WWE The Bump for all of the things. You got questions for Sheamus and HBK, two legends? We want to hear them. You got comments on the show? We want to hear them. You got anything across the board on the YouTube chat, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any of the things. Hashtag WWE The Bump. Kayla, tell them more.
That's right. Well, like we've already mentioned, he's going to be here today, but let's do it again. One of the most decorated superstars in WWE will be joining us live right here in the studio. We've got Sheamus here, and also the one and only HBK, Shawn Michaels, will be joining us in just a little bit to shed some of his wisdom upon us as well. So it's going to be a really fun show. When we have guys like this on, I know it's always going to be a good story time episode, and maybe we hear some things that we haven't heard before. So really pumped about that. But moving on, Matt, I'm going to throw over to you to discuss two men who have had a lot of history together.
A lot of history, and more history will be taking place at the Royal Rumble because the Universal Championship will be on the line between Seth freaking Rollins and the champion, the record holder, Roman Reigns. And yeah, they had a face-to-face this past Friday.
Well, let's acknowledge the look on your face when I showed up in your office last week. To be fair, why would you want to see me? I mean, our track record in matches for championships is pretty one-sided.
You must be sleeping under a rock or something. I'm in God mode nowadays, son. I'm the greatest Universal Champion of all time, which makes me the greatest to ever do this.
Can you look yourself in the mirror at night and say that you've done that all by yourself? Without Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins is just fine. So the real question I have for you is, do you really understand who the greatest is here?
If I wanted to main event the Royal Rumble with a megastar, I would have chose your wife.
These two men have a ton of history. Now, of course, Seth freaking Rollins is a smart man. He came out by himself, but he knew the Usos could come out. He even told Roman Reigns he knew that was going to happen. And look, he can do these kind of things and avoid and dip, dodge, and dive and get right back in there and get in the face of the man he will face in a little over a week at the Royal Rumble. It will be Seth freaking Rollins. It will be Roman Reigns, and the Universal Championship will be on the line. Now, of course, there is a lot of history between these two men. And I think you've noticed when you saw these two face off on Friday that Seth is not intimidated, and nor should he be by Roman Reigns. But I do want to note this. There is a ton of history between Seth freaking Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. This all ties together between the three of them at WrestleMania 31. It was Roman Reigns against Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. We saw Seth have that cash-in. Seth comes back from his knee injury, and he wins the WWE Championship once again from Roman Reigns. Of course, Roman beating Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. Fast forward